know it's not.
Yeah, it's okay.
But we're here, and we're doing what, Operation Cookie Outreach or something?
Operation We Have Cookies.
Operation We Have Cookies.
We do indeed.
We've got tons of cookies. And all these gentlemen are making cookies. I'm the only girl here, and I'm not making cookies.
There was this proposal that came through to canvas and go door to door and ask for money, and a bunch of people thought that was a bad idea, and we had a discussion about that afterwards, and we thought one of the reasons it's a bad idea is, money, and one of the reasons it's a bad idea is they're talking about paying people, but the main reason it's a bad idea is because if you knock on a door, you're at a disadvantage.
Right.
People are sick of that. They're sick of being told what to think, being told what to pay for. And so we pulled this one back out of the brainstorm list, and we discussed it, and we're like, well, how can we take that back? Like, why is knocking on the door bad? Like, how can we make it...
Because when people knock on your door, they want something instead of offering.
Or they want to tell you what to think, right? Jehovah's Witnesses?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, so that's when we came up with the idea of, how about if we just knock on the door and we don't tell them what we think, and we don't ask them for anything, and, if they want more information, there's a little tag. But just give them something. Just like, hey, here you go. You're part of the 99%, and right now the system sucks, and you deserve cookies, and unfortunately, I happen to have some.
Should be butter. Yeah, we're getting about empty.
These guys are working their bums off, making cookies.
We need more cookies. We need more cookies. Well, you need cookies so you can have cookies. You can't have cookies until you have cookies. So therefore, this is why this is Operation We Have Cookies.
We do have cookies.
And now we're going to have cookies. Therefore, we will have cookies. Hence, Operation We Have Cookies.
I need to get back to work. I'm running out of cookies over here.
This is that the media is only going to spin things to make us look negative. Yeah. And if they do the opposite, then I'm pleasantly surprised. And secondly, that at least by day 2, that it's been infiltrated, and there are people that are either like working as undercover agents, or CI, or monitoring, communications. So I think those are just 2 basic assumptions.
And so back to what I view from the media in Chapman Square over winter. What ended the media coverage, from my perspective, was the divisions and splits between the Occupy movement. That's what I was told.
I mean, so they're going to try to, I guess I'll just repeat what I said before, is that, before you take what the media is saying seriously, consider that, first of all, their biggest advertisers are banks and oil companies and car companies. It's not in their best interest, because their advertisers are going to turn against them if they start doing cosmetic reporting.
A lot of those banking families as well.
And second of all, they themselves are, major media outlets are publicly traded corporations. So there's a conflict of interest already. I think that a media outlet should not be allowed to be a publicly traded corporation. I think that that's ridiculous. But they're, we're viewed as a threat to them. So they're not going to, they're probably not going to go out of their way to show the good things that we're doing. They're probably going to go out of their way to trump up anything that they can get their hands on that paints us in a negative light.
Well, let's hope that Operation We Have Cookies is successful in the media.
I agree. I don't know how they're going to put a negative spin on us giving cookies away, but I always sit and I actually kind of get a kick out of watching the media spin things.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's like, I know they're going to do it, they are. And it's just an assumption that I have coming into it.
Yeah.
So they always, somehow manage to...
Well, except for that wonderful no spin zone. Waiting for the...
Dude,
I'm waiting to get bashed over the head, sorry.
There was a K2 reporter that was seen by multiple people.
Oh, yeah.
Placing a hypodermic needle on the ground to use as a prop at the camp.
What? Oh, man, that's low.
Did you see what they did in Oakland? Have you watched the video on the ground from the guy, what was his name? Oakosho?
Oakosho?
Yeah.
I've seen stuff from I don't know if I've seen it.
So he did it. So, the media was coming out saying that, like, the violence was what provoked the police to arrest people, and people were taken into the YMCA, and all this stuff. And then, so, I watched the 17-minute video, and, like, my God, like, it was total theater.
Yeah.
Like, the press, they brought in the press. First of all, like, people didn't break into the YMCA. There were people
In Brooklyn or Oakland?
let them in Oakland.
Okay, yeah, I watched it.
There who let them in because they were trapped, and people wanted to escape because they were afraid because the cops had trapped them on two sides. And secondly, the cops said that they gave 3 orders to disperse. But you listen on the video and there was
Never an order.
and never any.
No,
And that was
I
an
watched.
excuse for starting to arrest people.
Yep.
And then they staged an interview with this police officer, and basically like they came up and like filmed him, and he was just like repeating all these lies, like they gave 3 orders to disperse, blah blah blah, and like saying stuff that he like basically like the cops didn't see what happened at the YMCA, so they could not have possibly known at that point whether it was broken into or not. But they just went on the media and they were like, yep, the YMCA, they broke into it, it was vandalism, like they it was all a setup.
And that shit happens all the time, and Rainbow Family's been dealing with that for years. And here's a great way to deal with that, is that, first of all, anytime there's a police officer among us, there should be a camera.
Yeah.
Like at Rainbow, anytime there's a cop on the ground, there was a camera and a radio following that cop.
Good. Yeah.
And then the second thing is quick post-production. Just it doesn't even look good. Just get good raw video.
Yeah.
And then whenever they say anything, check our video, and if we can prove them wrong, immediately send it out to all the mass media.
Yeah.
With labeled as proving that the police PR person is lying.
Yeah.
And the media eats that shit up, dude. They love to prove that people are lying. They love it.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter at that point. It doesn't matter if how they're spinning it. Like if we can catch someone in a lie and prove it,
Yeah.
they'll at least print retractions and like point out who was lying. And they won't
That's a good point.
holy punches. And we've gotten like that sometimes. Like in 06, we broke up the police roadblock. We broke up peacefully. There's a video online. You can see it. And they said that we threw rocks and stuff. And we were like, uncut video to all the local stations. There you go.
Yeah.
And what rocks did we throw?
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
And
Yeah.
that stuff works really well.
Yeah,
That's true.
The federal government has been coming after Rainbow for years now because they're essentially an autonomous organization of people that are there to support the community, and for community strengthening and for family values, true family values like safe food and safe space and love.
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing that I realized with the government, and they were doing raids on, and in the 60s and 70s they were conducting raids on communes, on intentional communities, not for the purpose of finding drugs and that was their cover, but they are afraid of people. They rely on our dependency. So they're afraid of people becoming independent. They're afraid of people being able to live on their own. And the rainbow, going to the rainbow gatherings, from what I've gathered, it seems like that's what a lot of people are trying to focus on. Like people are trying to focus on forming intentional communities where you are able to live independently.
And the thing is too, it's not like just little intentional communities. I mean, we all love to do that.
Right.
But I mean, people, there are, 60, 70, 100 person tribes that are nomadic year round. There are, it's the large scale thing is what, because one of the favorite arguments against anarchic systems is, well, it doesn't scale up. It works fine for, a few hippies in the house, it doesn't scale up. And it's like, well, it scales up to 50,000, I've seen that.
Yeah.
And maybe it doesn't scale up to billions, but it certainly scales up to the size of a small city.
Yeah.
It's good 144,000.
So if that's true, then why wouldn't, through localization, why wouldn't it scale up?
Right.
You know what I mean? If every 50,000 people has their own little system,
Yeah.
you don't need many of those systems to cover everyone.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah, you just have mini autonomous systems existing that communicate with one another.
Yeah.
Right, and even the big gathering, I mean, that's what it is. It's the smaller tribes that, it just kind of mirrors up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mirrors up really isn't a very good term. It's like a hologram. Hey! So we've got all these, plus we've already sent, what? A bag and a half out?
Oh my god, we've done so many.
Anything else you want to say? The camera's on you?
Hey.
Oh, the camera's on me?
Yeah.